And welcome back to another episode of the Choose954 podcast, episode 101 with Steve Cabeza here from my favorite spot in downtown Hollywood. If you didn't know about Choose954, myself, Evan Snow, and my business partner, Mr. Andrew Martineau, started a social movement to cultivate culture and community in my native Broward County in an effort to keep people in the know with all the great things that are going on, primarily within the arts and culture and small business space, to make this a better place to live and not just a better place to vacation. The point of the podcast is to connect you with interesting people like him that are doing important things in the community, and we got quite a bit of fun stuff to share with you. So without much further ado, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you kind of made your way in your career to South Florida food tours?
For sure. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. My name's Steve Cabeza. I've been most of my professional career in marketing, advertising, public relations, media relations. And so I have been doing that professionally, made a lot of money and made it rain for other people. So it's nice to have myself as the client.
Isn't it, right?
It sure is, yeah. You know, I'm Google certified and Meta certified and have spent enough time speaking on Zoom and Google Meets for 3 lifetimes. And, you know, explaining the same fundamentals of pay-per-click or something to the same customer every 3 months is just like a hamster wheel I don't ever want to climb back into.
Okay. So for those that are not familiar with South Florida food tours, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do and what you offer?
Yeah, so right after COVID, in January 2022, I went on vacation, family vacation to Hawaii with 25 family and friends, and we did a food tour, 8 of us, in a little village called Honolulu. And that chef who started the food tour had been misplaced by COVID. And while there, it gave me the chills, and I thought I could do this in Hollywood, where I've been running my digital media company since 2008. I have a bunch of great restaurant partners. I've worked with the Greek Joint Kitchen and Bar for many years. And so I got the idea in Hawaii, bought the domain for $10 when I'd had a little too much wine, and here I am.
It's always interesting to find out what domains people buy and you know, kind of how the backstory. I've always loved food tours when I travel, and I'm, you know, Victor at my favorite spot, formerly Drastics, for those that didn't know that they recently changed the name and rebranded, had told me about you and that, you know, offering a good service. So what does a South Florida food tour look like here in downtown Hollywood?
Yeah, so I originally started Hollywood Florida Food Tour, HollywoodFloridaFoodTour.com here in downtown Hollywood because this is where I live, and I've known the guys at the Greek Joint for a long time, Jimmy and Chris, and I also know Mark and formerly Mark and Karen from Mickey Burns Irish Pub. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I saw the toll that COVID took on downtown Hollywood, which we didn't have a lock on that COVID devastation. Mm-hmm. But I saw it here. I lived it here with friends and family, with folks. When I started my marketing business in 2008, Mickey Burns Irish Pub was my first client. And I worked with Jimmy and Chris for 10, 12 years over at the Greek Joint. So when I had the idea of HollywoodFloridaFoodTour.com, I came and met with them and pitched the idea, and they were very enthusiastic. And as I took on more cities, I work with 5 cities now. In 5 cities, it became SouthFloridaFoodTour.com.
Interesting. And, you know, there is so much culinary and cultural diversity here in downtown Hollywood. You know, so many people don't know that. I mean, sure, we have, you know, Mexican and Colombian and Indian, you know, spot, but there's also Indonesian, you know, Asian street food, Indian street food. And if you didn't know, Broward County is one of the most culturally diverse counties in the country,
Amen.
More languages spoken.
Amen.
So what are some of the places that you like to highlight and some of the cultures that you like to highlight on the tour?
Yeah, I love it. You know, here in the downtown Hollywood area, we have just an abundance, to your point, of these international restaurants, some with, you know, the best chops, the best pedigree. The Greek Joint, you know, they have traditional Greek food. You've got Peruvian, you got Peruvian, Mexican. You have Victor's Place here, my favorite spot, which is a mix. Indonesian food at Krakatoa. You know, in all of South Florida, there's only 2 Indonesian places of acclaim. There's one, Bali Indonesian. They're down in Miami-Dade. They've been there for a very long time. And then there's Krakatoa, and that's it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they've been on diners, drive-ins, and dives, Guys Grocery Games, top 100 restaurant in Florida by the users of Yelp. This is still a hidden secret and just a great restaurant to patronize. And just, you know, there's food tours, and then there's food tours that are elevated. I feel like my food tour is a little elevated. It's not a bunch of tacos and refried beans. It's not a tiny little empanada or some stuff like that you get in Calle Ocho, which is a great food tour too. You know, my tour is a little elevated, and you get big portions because I'm a big guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah.
And that's how we initially connected, because most people know that are listening to this that I have been leading tours of the Hollywood ArtWalk every third Saturday at 7 o'clock down on Harrison Street and 20th, taking people around, breaking the ice between the artists and the patrons and, the people that are vending in the artisan market. But Victor had told me about you for some time now. And after I got back from a recent trip to Portugal and Spain, I think I took 4 food tours.
Nice.
Because there's a lot to explore within the cultures there, and I wanted to integrate my love of art, my love of food, and my love of culture. So when I came back, I kind of kicked the idea around for a little bit and decided to do an extension, a supplementary tour, an art and food walking tour downtown Hollywood to show not just the art pop-ups that we showed during the art walk, but the murals, the arts park, Hollywood Hot Class, and then some of the restaurants a lot of people don't know about. Block 40 Food Hall. A lot of people still don't know about Krakatoa, even though they have been on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
Totally.
And on Yelp's Top 100. And it's one of my favorite places to recommend people. And that's what brought us to connect and collaborate. You definitely very down-to-earth, open-minded, rising tides, raise all ships mentality.
100%.
So we're both promoting one another's tours. Want to try to provide a lift and some support to the local small businesses that really do rely not just on the residents, but on the tourists and the visitors that come to visit us as well, to support these establishments, to support the culinary economy and the creative economy. How do you think, with the addition of your tours and the Cali Ocho tour and now our tours, that culinary tourism has impacted local businesses in South Florida within the restaurant space?
I know that my tours have an impact. I know that food tourism and food tours is a growing sector in the tour industry. Yeah. It's probably the fastest growing vertical. Probably about 55 to 60% of my guests come in through TripAdvisor Viator, and they're from out of town. And then the rest are locals. And, I get a lot of folks that are locals, and I have repeat customers now. It's outstanding. But I have a lot of folks that are locals that said, I've driven through Hollywood 50 times and had no idea these restaurants are here.
Correct.
And I just hear that again and again. So it has a positive effect. I'm averaging about 60 customers a month right now in downtown Hollywood, and that's fantastic. And I've encountered people that do food tour vacation. So I had a group of 8 people. I applied to be one of their friends. They travel and to go on food tours.
Yeah.
And what was redeeming was to take them to somewhere like, my favorite spot one day on the tour, and then come back the next day and see them in here again.
Yeah.
So I know it has an effect. People like Victor will tell you, Jimmy at the Greek joint, the Chef Abe over at Krakatoa with John, Chef Ivan at Redwood, they come back.
Yeah. And providing the discoverability, you are actually supporting the creative economy and the culinary economy, because you are paying, for the food to, get samples and bites for the guests. And then also there's marketing, there's creative, there's advertising, there's more of that discoverability to let more people know that downtown Hollywood is a culinary hotspot. Because once again, so many people, haven't been to even Go Bistro. And,
Totally.
And it is what it is. There's so many restaurants, there's so much competition, but we're both very passionate and, Hollywood community builders. And there is so much to offer that within the tour experience, it kind of adds to that surprise. Like most people don't know what they're going to expect or experience they're going to find. And there's that discoverability, seeing things with fresh eyes. Can you tell us about some of the unique or surprising food experiences that you've been able to offer?
Yeah, totally. I've had guests that have never had tahine. Chili Limon they make their own tahine, and they make their own margaritas from scratch, and they put their own blend of tahine. Most people have had a taco, but so many people don't know what Krakatoa is, or where Indonesia is, or what the eponymous food of Indonesia is. I started an elevated tour where I feature Turner New Zealand products, which are grass-fed, free-range from New Zealand, ultra-premium products. Noel Turner's a friend of mine. So I introduced a bunch of people just in the last few days that have never tried lamb before, and they're getting the best quality grass-fed, free-range lamb at the Greek Joint Kitchen and Bar. So that's fantastic. Food, in my opinion, is an evolving thing. Flavors and fusions and all that stuff. What we used to eat, meat and 3, that's not what we eat anymore. It continues to evolve. So that's super exciting to be able to introduce something. When foodies are great, they have a sense of adventure.
Yeah.
They try things. I don't get a lot of complaints. I don't get any complaints. Yeah. So.
And you're not just offering just downtown Hollywood. Could you tell us a little bit about the other tours that you offer?
Yeah, for sure. I started with downtown Hollywood. Then I was approached by the folks at the Improv at Dania Point, and they wanted me to start a tour over there, which I did. You know, I have a tour that's been a corporate group that's run there a few times. I'm open to running over there. It's not the same experience as here. There's more corporations with big chains over there. It's a totally different experience.
Correct.
Hollywood Beach, kind of the same thing. It's a lot of extra walking. The newest tour is the Atlantic Village Food Tour in Hallandale Beach, because I started the Hollywood, Florida Food Tour with Chef Massimiliano Stamera from Joya Eat, and he moved south to Hallandale Beach. And this guy, I didn't even know you could get gold medals from pizza making, and this guy has 20 of them.
That's right.
And he's talented, and he's an acrobat. He comes up with special food and gluten-free options for celiacs and the whole gamut. Makes his own desserts, 48 pizzas in there. I refused to let this guy out of my grasp when he moved to Hallandale Beach, so I started a food tour down there.
And there's quite a bit to offer. For those that are not familiar, can you tell us where it is and what else is in Atlantic Village?
Yeah, absolutely. So Atlantic Village, you know, it's a 3-tower complex, and they wanted to focus mainly on dining and education.
Yeah.
And they have some services there, chiropractors. You can get a massage, you can get your hair cut.
Yep.
They have a swim academy there and some other stuff. So there's 3 towers. They're just in front of Mardi Gras Casino. They've got some artwork there, free parking, which is good for Chef Stamera at Joya Italy.
That's right.
And there's probably 17 restaurants there.
Yeah.
So I work with 5 of them so far. Looking forward to working with more. Besides Joya Italy, the Blues Burgers, they get grass-fed beef from Texas. It's Argentinians that own the place. They've got amazing chicken wings and fabulous cheeseburgers. There's Peruvian spots over there.
Yep.
There's a couple of chains. And boy, I finish every tour over there with Holy Shakes.
Yeah.
So you get a milkshake with Nutella or a brownie, and that always puts a smile on someone's face.
Okay. What are the price points and ranges of these tours?
Yeah, so, you know, I was happy to welcome your art and food tour to my website, Evan, because, you know, my price points are $95 per person. And, you know, yours is a shorter one. It's more art-centric, and, you know, you worked your pricing into your Choose954 into your price point, and I love that aspect. Yeah. And so, you know, this is an evolving thing with me. As I learn, you know, from my career in marketing, every food tour guest I get, they don't know it, but they get aggressively focus grouped through that 2.5 hours that I spend with them. I ask them a lot of questions, you know, value, portion size, walking, you know, exposure to sun, food quality. So I'm always asking. So this is a work in progress. So if you've done the tour before, do it again, because it's maybe something new.
And you're getting great value. You're getting a great experience. You're getting a curated experience, a private experience, because, you know, you do have to purchase a ticket. And I've paid, you know, those same prices when I go, as I mentioned, in Italy and in Spain and Portugal. And those have been some of our favorite experiences. Last year, I went with my parents to Italy, their first time going to Italy in 40 years. And my mom loves Stanley Tucci.
Okay.
And she felt like she was getting the Stanley Tucci experience by going on food tours in Rome and Naples and Milan. And you know, sure, you could go get lunch and then you could go get dinner, but these guys know where to go. They know what to give you. You know, you're getting to hear oftentimes from the chef or from the owner.
That's exactly correct.
And I'm glad that you made the distinction. And, you know, nothing against corporate chains, because everybody started somewhere. But downtown Hollywood here, most of the businesses, especially like, you know, Victor and Gina here at My Favorite Spot, you know, they're local, independent owners that genuinely rely on your patronage and support to keep pursuing their craft, their passion, their creative outlet, their profession. You know, culinary arts is an art form, and I'm a big supporter of entrepreneurism. You are as well. So when you patronize and support a local small business, those dollars go a lot further. They can continue to pay themselves, their staffs, their employees, their vendors. They can continue providing a service. And in all reality, the arts being a part of culture, I always like to mention, nobody wants to live in a place that is devoid of culture.
Amen.
You know, nobody wants to live in a place where they only, a food desert.
Amen.
Where they only have, you know, so many things. So it's unfortunate that, you know, with the economy, with COVID, with the facts of life, that businesses closed and businesses open. But we're here to shine a spotlight on a lot of these local small businesses so that they can continue to thrive and operate and provide good quality food and good quality service. I've had 5-6 dozen different bowl combinations here.
Oh, me too.
From Drastics to My Favorite Spot, where they have different bases,
oh, yeah.
You know, different proteins, and plant-based options as well as different sauces. So you can get creative, and I try not to have the same thing twice. I had a bulgogi bowl last time, which was a new Korean-inspired option on the menu. So I definitely like to make that point because, some people think, oh, I'll just go to, no disrespect to Houston's
Sure.
or Chili's, and, they're fine, but they're going to be all right without your $40, $50, $100. But places like this really can thrive and really can continue to operate and provide that quality service to the community. So I definitely want to give you kudos for doing that here in Hollywood, where I love supporting and being a part of the community. If they'd like to find out more, where can they find you on social media and the interwebs?
Yeah. So SouthFloridaFoodTour.com or HollywoodFloridaFoodTour.com. Either one, you can scroll down. If you go to the website, you can find a link to my YouTube. You can find a link to Instagram, to Facebook. Hollywood Florida Food Tour 954 is an Instagram handle. I'm personally on TikTok. I'm also personally on YouTube. And on behalf of my restaurant partners, including Victor and Gina and all the other ones that I support, I put out a lot of messaging for them. I mean, that is the value of working with me. Not only am I going to strive to bring in more and more customers, but I am broadcast my restaurant partners. Happily so.
Yeah. I mean, it really is a win-win-win. And you're providing great experiences. Any highlights or success stories or surprising reactions you've seen from guests when trying new food or restaurants?
Yeah, I was at Chili Limon next door, which is built in an alleyway, and they have. I've seen you take guests of your art tour in there because they have nice murals inside, just like Victor does here.
Really cool design, really cool build out with the shipping containers.
Yeah, with the aesthetic in there. When I ask my tour guests, they love the aesthetic. Sometimes parrots fly through there, birds. They nest. Those are all real plants in that place. They capture rainwater and they use remote watering systems, and it's a cool vibe. And I've had guests get nervous that a bird may go to the bathroom in their food. And introducing guests to new menu items is cool. The fact that I have local repeat customers is something that I didn't imagine, and that's a testament both to my restaurant partners and the sense of quality that I put in this, the sense of integrity. I don't want to take someone somewhere. No offense, I love Cisco, I love Cheney Brothers, I love Costco, I'll eat anything. But you don't take me somewhere and give me something on a tour that I can get from Cheney Brothers, Cisco.
No, fair enough. And Chili Limon, another interesting success story. They started at Yellow Green's Farmers Market.
Yeah.
Had a lot of success. Yellow Green Farmers Market also in Hollywood, just west of 95. And they took this space right next to pretty much my favorite spot. We're here on Tyler Street, just west of the Circle, just west of the Arts Park, 1 block north of Hollywood Boulevard. They took a very interesting spot that had gone through some permitting challenges and some ownership changes, but did a phenomenal build out. It's unlike anything you'll really ever see. People liken it to 1-800-GET-LUCKY, which is a food hall in Wynwood.
Okay.
They have the shipping containers, they have the murals, they have the hanging plants. It's a indoor, outdoor, open air concept. It is very cool. And even, like things like Tajin, if you've been to Mexico or if you've been some other places, maybe you'll experience it. But these are cultural staples that not everybody experiences or interacts with in their everyday day of life. And by stepping outside of your comfort zone and trying something new,
that's right.
It opens up your culture palette, lets you know, more of what you like, and then I found then encourages people to try more things.
Exactly. Broaden your horizons a little bit.
Correct. And then even just go back one more time to Krakatoa, like there's different spice levels and spice profiles.
Amen.
And they can get as spicy as you want to get.
Amen.
But there's a little bit of something for everybody. The Houstons and the Chili's of the world, they'll continue to be there, but we really should make a point to, I always like to say, support Local 954.
Agreed.
And put that on the hashtag to get people more in the mindset of, patronizing these local small businesses, to have that cultural element to the community that's so valid and so needed in 2024, 2025, and beyond. So I give you a lot of kudos and credit for doing that. Any other tours, any other experiences that they could find with you?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of driven tours launched. I have some repeat customers coming back in a couple of weeks. They hired a limousine. They want me to leave Hollywood and drive them. We're gonna take the limousine. I'm gonna take them to some places around Fort Lauderdale. Fortunately, my collaboration with Noel Turner and Turner New Zealand, he supplies some very high-end restaurants and clubs around here. So I'm going to target those places and have it be a Turner experience. And to your point, I get a lot of people. They'll go back to Houston, so they go back to Outback because they eat out infrequently. They don't want to be let down. A lot of people crave something,
Sure.
And I get that. I go through that myself.
Sure.
But there's still a lot of people that don't know what a food tour is, and if you have that adventurous spirit, try it, broaden your horizons, because one of the things that I like doing is telling the stories of the places that I go. I love the folks here at My Favorite Spot. This was a deli that COVID put out of business. Raul at Chili Limon came from Acapulco. His father was in hospitality. These are people with food and passionate about it, not about paying back investors for a bottom line.
Correct.
Yeah.
Amen. So definitely encourage you to check out the tours. Also, you mentioned when we spoke previously, eco tours, Big Bass Adventure Guide Services.
Yeah.
So plenty of other resources. I've been known to give mural tours as well.
Yeah.
In addition to the Art Walk tour that we do every third Saturday, the Art and Food Walking tour that I recently just added will take place prior to the Art Walk at 4:30 every third Saturday. So that you can then have time to explore the Art Walk afterwards. And we're going to be, right here in downtown Hollywood, plenty of parking garages. They even have valet parking on the street now. Plenty of other great things coming up. Have our next potluck for artists, as I'm really a community builder and arts advocate.
Well done.
So
we need more of that.
Yeah. Another culinary experience that we do to build the creative community within artists. Next one is going to be November the 9th at our Zero Empty Spaces Gulfstream Park location.
Nice.
Next to Williams-Sonoma. You bring a dish for 5 or 6 people. Not everybody eats everything. Because we're so culturally diverse in South Florida and the artists come from all types of places and backgrounds.
Thank you, Jana.
Yeah. I've gotten to try a lot of really cool, because people will bring things that they've made from their culture. So you can find that under the Choose954 Artist Potluck. Still hosting our monthly breakfast lecture series, mini TED Talk called Creative Zen. Every second Friday morning of the month. We do it at the Cotilla Gallery, at the Alvin Sherman Library on the campus of Nova Southeastern University, bringing the local people to share their thought-provoking, inspiring story. This month we have leading arts and entertainment attorney, entrepreneur, athlete Jessica Schrademan of Schrademan Law, who's done some free pro bono art and law workshops for our artists in the creative community. And looking forward to another great year of speakers. We have Candy Lopez coming up, who's one of the leading artists of the moment in Broward County. So proud of her. And still doing Accent Club, Goal Setting Accountability Mini Mastermind Group we do for free every other Tuesday at Art in Oakland Park. Help people with their goals, ideas, startup, passion projects. It's a free group, something I enjoy doing with my friend Enid. And more good stuff. So you can follow us at Choose954. You log on to Choose954.com. Drop me an email if you got a place or a restaurateur, entrepreneur, somebody that you want to see on the podcast. Always open for more guests and trying to grow this thing and make an impact. And the last question that we always like to wrap up with here is, why do you choose the 954?
Yeah, listen, you hit it. I like the collaboration. I love Hollywood, the in-between between Miami and Fort Lauderdale. The rising tide lifts all boats.
Yep.
That's the way I feel. There's plenty for us, enough for everyone to go around.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the most important thing.
It's a rich place. There is a place and an opportunity for everybody, whereas unfortunately, in all reality, I've come to find from my ventures into Miami that it's not as inclusive all the time.
There's some cutthroat operators out there, no doubt.
Correct. So, here in Broward, I started with a hashtag of Choose954 just to show people that I grew up with in Coral Springs all the cool things that are going on in the arts and culture. Never would have imagined where it would have led me, to doing these tours, taking artists on a Cruise for Creatives wellness retreat, doing workshops, giving back to the community, opening vacant commercial real estate spaces to make art studios. So, anything is possible. And we appreciate you guys tuning in. Look forward to having you join us on one of our tours. And if you have a request or a custom tour or an idea, don't hesitate to reach out. If you have a group, a family reunion, vacation, a corporate group coming in.
Oh, 100%. Any special event. Just 2 more things I want to add. If you have a region where you'd like me to plug a food tour into, reach out to me through my website. And I've done 3 episodes of my video series. You can find them on my website, too. For Krakatoa, Chili Limon, and Gioia, Italy. And I thank you very much, Evan.
My pleasure. Yeah. talked briefly about maybe Pompano food tours,
Maybe.
Las Olas food tours. So don't hesitate to reach out. Evan at choose954.com. We appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank
Cheers.
you for watching.